Hello everyone and welcome back to Urban Beginnings. My name is Rogelio Martinez and today I have a quick informational video on housing elements. This is going to be a very brief overview of what the housing element consists of. Please let me know if you would like me to get more in depth. There is a lot of information to cover under housing elements. Again, this is just a quick overview of the main concept of a housing element. So thanks for watching, thank you for your support, and like always, sending you good vibes. How familiar are you with the purpose of a housing element, or what a housing element is? If you're not sure, you're not alone. Let's break it down. Since 1969, California has required all cities and counties to plan for housing needs of their communities. This is done through the housing element, a crucial part of a city or county's general plan. Think of the general plan as a blueprint for growth and development. It includes 7 key elements, and housing is one of them. This is known as the housing element law. The housing element is unique because it requires local governments to plan for housing at all income levels and remove barriers to development. Fun fact, the housing element is the only part of the general plan that typically requires approval from a state agency, specifically the Department of Housing and Community Development, HCD, making it the only element that needs to be formally certified by an outside entity. So why does it matter? California law recognizes that for private market to meet housing demand, local governments must have plans and policies to facilitate housing development rather than hinder it. This means identifying land for housing, setting fair permitting procedures, and ensuring local zoning laws encourage diverse housing types. The housing element plays a big role in shaping our communities by addressing key objectives like economic development. Housing stability leads to stronger local economies. Greenhouse gas reduction. Building homes near transit reduces car dependency, for example. Improved public health. Quality housing prevents issues like overcrowding and substandard living conditions. Community stability. Affordable housing fosters long-term residency and civic engagement. A well-crafted housing element lays the foundation for a diverse range of housing options across income levels while promoting mixed-use development, perhaps downtown revitalization, and transit-friendly housing, by proactively addressing housing shortages rather than reacting to crisis. An effective housing element creates the necessary conditions for both preserving and producing an adequate supply of affordable housing. It includes an inventory of land appropriately zoned or planned for housing, streamlines permitting processing procedures, and demonstrates a commitment to supporting housing development through regulatory consensus and incentives. The housing element is also a very powerful tool for addressing the needs of farm workers, people with disabilities, seniors, and those experiencing homelessness. Programs like California's Mental Health Services Act help fund supportive housing for vulnerable populations. The housing element requires jurisdictions to identify and remove obstacles preventing the development of these housing types. So how is housing need determined? To plan effectively, cities and counties first need to determine how much housing is required. It is done through the Regional Housing Needs Assessment, or RHNA. The California Department of Housing and Community Development, HCD, works with regional councils to analyze population trends and determine each region's housing needs. The Council of Government then allocates the need among local jurisdictions through the RHNA plan, ensuring that every city and county plays a role in solving the housing crisis. Once housing needs are determined, local governments must develop plans to accommodate growth while balancing environmental, economic, and social factors. The housing element procedures includes updating previous plans to reflect current housing conditions and policies, public participation to ensure transparency and community input, submitting drafts to HCD for review to ensure compliance with the state law, and during the process, revising and adopting the plan based on feedback and updated housing strategies. This ensures transparency by making drafts and revisions accessible to public online as well. The housing element doesn't just shape housing, it influences long-term land use, infrastructure planning, and regional sustainability strategies. Without adequate housing near jobs, people may face longer commutes, higher costs, and increased carbon footprints. This process is tied to California's Sustainable Community Strategies, which aims to reduce emission and promote smart growth. Despite the importance, implementing a housing element can be challenging. Common barriers include community opposition to higher density housing, zoning laws that limit multifamily or affordable housing, high development cost, and limited funding for low-income housing, lengthy permit processes that delay housing production. However, there are also opportunities. Many cities are adopting new strategies as such, streamlining permit approvals for affordable housing, incentivizing mixed use and infill development, partnering with nonprofit developers and land trusts, and revising zoning codes to allow more diverse housing options. By understanding and participating in the housing element process, we can help shape communities that work for everyone. Want to get involved? Visit your local government's website, attend public meetings, and advocate for policies that support housing for all.